This is Hollywood. Matías Bombal with him. Walt Disney brings us another telling of Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, this time in IMAX and in regular theaters, which they adapted from the classic collection of stories by the famous author, first written in 1894. In 1967, Disney's animated version, with wonderful music, became immensely popular, though they varied from the original stories slightly. They again returned to the story for their 1994 release, Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, with Jason Scott Lee, and The Jungle Book 2 in 2003. There have been numerous other film and television adaptations. The most beautiful, also live action and in Technicolor, may likely be Zoltan Korda's version from 1942, starring Sabu. This time, Disney's opus is directed by longtime independent actor Jon Favreau. It appears to be live action, yet you may be sure that computer wizardry is afoot. This is indeed a very engaging tale, telling the classic stories where the law of the jungle holds forth. I came to this from the perspective of reading the stories in childhood and then seeing the 1967 animated feature, which made a profound impact on me. The voices of great personalities like George Sanders as Shere Khan and Baloo the Bear, so perfectly fitting the real Phil Harris who voiced him, are indelible parts of my memory. Shortly after seeing the 1967 version, I was taken to visit a family friend, Vicente Urbistondo, who had been a film critic and later professor at UC Berkeley. That day, he had a house guest, a gentle-looking, slender old man with a shock of white hair, who I had been told had been an actor in the movies. I was not yet 5 years old when this man leaned down to look at me and gently extended his hand to greet me. I was on my very best behavior in an era where children were seen and not heard. Suddenly he spoke, very softly. I was stricken by great fear and ran screaming from the room. It was Sterling Holloway, and I thought the snake from the Jungle Book was alive in the room talking to me. The 1967 movie was also a favorite of this new version's Bagheera, who is voiced by the excellent selection of Sir Ben Kingsley. Here he recalls for us now his affection for the original animated Disney classic and tells us of this new movie.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I loved the characters, the music, the prism that was seen through was more American than British Imperial India. I think what Jon Favreau has done is he's pulled it back more to possibly Kipling's perspective and his sort of moral compass, because in a way it's a moral tale, and again it's a tale about an orphan, and there are many wonderful stories that we thrill to that are based on the struggle of an orphan to find a family, to create an orphan creating a family around him, which is I think a very poignant part of John's version of the film as well. It will have its beautiful, thrilling, exciting, joyous moments of celebration. It must also, quite rightly, have its darker moments, because we are dealing with a very isolated child who triumphs over enormous odds.
In just that sense, this really is a wonderful movie and very well made. Here's an example. Let's take a look at Sir Ben's animalification in this early scene in the picture where Mowgli must leave the pack of wolves to which he had been entrusted.
Maybe I can be of help. The boy's right. Maybe it's time he found another people.
No.
I'm the one who brought him to you, and now I'll return him to where he belongs.
I won't let you. He's my cub.
We knew this day would come.
We are the only family he's ever known.
Raksha. It's the only place he'll be safe.
It's okay, Ami. It won't go far. I'll come back and visit.
Never forget this. You're mine. Mine to me.
No matter where you go, or what they may call you, you will always be my son.
The other Wolven voices there are provided by Giancarlo Esposito as Father Wolf Akela and Lupita Noyong'o as Raksha, the Mother Wolf. This picture's by far the most delightful time I've had at a Disney movie in the last 5 or more years. It is outstanding from start to finish, and I felt the kind of fun I've not had at the movies since I was a child. It was full of adventure, wonder, and highly entertaining throughout. Where most Disney movies are preachy about political correctness, director Jon Favreau does not use that typical Disney approach, instead relying on excellent storytelling ability and stunning visuals, made even more impressive should you see this in bigger-than-life IMAX. Let's take you behind the scenes where many strange stories are told of this jungle.
But none so strange as the tale of the cub we call Mowgli.
The original Jungle Book, the 67 animated Disney version, was something I grew up with. When you take on a piece of content and you update it, you have to be sure that there's a reason for it. What makes us able to make this movie now is the technology to have photoreal animal animation.
Trust in me.
I'm a huge fan of the original book. It's really extraordinary writing. He was quite a guy, Kipling. So when Jon Favreau said, "Would you like to do this?" I really couldn't say no.
Fear, danger, humor, and also emotion. I really want to tackle those sensibilities. When we meet Mowgli, he's a 10-year-old. He's grown up in the jungle.
These are two different animals, but they have formed a family unit.
Shere Khan is, without a doubt, the leader of the jungle.
Man is forbidden!
And he goes on this deadly pursuit.
As with all of my films, it always starts with the cast. I have to have a great cast.
Am I in the right monkey temple?
I think for voice performance, the trick is to have them really act it like they're in the film.
Seize him!
I can show myself out. Thanks. Bye-bye.
As they start to see the animation and work with each other, it starts to get fun.
Mowgli finds his own family. That's the beauty of the story. He creates his own.
Families come in all different shapes and sizes. It's a story that everybody relates to.
You have a good story you're all telling together, the good things happen.
I'm Mowgli, and this is my home.
As you saw there, top Hollywood talent has been brought on board for the production, including the voices of Bill Murray as Baloo the bear and Idris Elba as Shere Khan the tiger. And in his last work for the screen, the late Gary Shandling gives voice to the porcupine Iki. Director Favreau has a dedication for him at the end of the credit crawl, in memoriam. The most interesting choice in the casting was King Louie, played by the always entertaining and unexpected Christopher Walken. If you're used to the King from the animated version, so perfectly tailored to the personality of jazz hound Louis Prima, who voiced him, at first you won't know what to think of Walken's performance. However, it's only a matter of seconds before he has completely won you over. How his first sequence is introduced may be my favorite moment in the picture, but I won't tell you. You'll just have to see it. My deep-seated fear of snakes, so vibrant since my childhood encounter with Sterling Holloway, was rekindled with fear and allure by Scarlett Johansson as the famous serpent Kaa, made so much more effective by the remarkable stereophonic 5.1 surround reproduction used in the IMAX presentations. By very special arrangement, this moment is presented for you now, right here, in 5.1 surround stereophonic sound.
Hello? Who's out there?
Hi, little cub. Oh no, don't be scared. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Are you alone out here?
I'm waiting for a friend. He should be here soon.
We should never be alone. I'll keep you safe.
Who are you?
I know what you are. I know where you came from. Would you like to see?
Yeah.
Mostly men stay in their village, but sometimes they travel. And when they do, their caves breathe in the dark. They call it the Red Flower. It brings warmth and light and destruction to all that it touches.
Who is that?
The traveler protecting his cub. Shere Khan ended the man's life. The panther found the cub. And that cub was you.
This picture is also in 3D, so when Ka looms in, that snake is in your lap. Magnificent in 3D and in IMAX, also showing in other theaters in 3D. This is the most I've been entertained by a new movie in recent memory, as a joyful smile was fixed on my face throughout the whole movie experience. Once again, I was a child at the Saturday afternoon adventure matinee, thrilled by what I saw up there on the screen. The Motion Picture Association of America has given this a PG rating. This is your pal, Matías Bombal, bidding you a fond farewell.
That's what I do.